If you've ever wondered how to cut a watermelon, I'm gonna show you how. 4 different ways to cut up your watermelon this summer. Hey everybody, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Soapbox, and today we are going to cut a watermelon. It sounds super simple, but there's a couple different techniques you can use to make sure you're serving your watermelon in the best way possible. I'm also going to tell you how to pick your watermelon. So when you go to the store, you want to make sure you're picking a juicy, ripe watermelon, and this is how you can tell. First, you're going to pick it up. If it feels heavy for its size, that is a juicy watermelon. You also want to look for the yellow belly. So this is the ground spot on your watermelon. This is where it sat to ripen. If you don't have a yellow spot, it wasn't ripened properly, or it's not completely ripe. Also, lastly, give it a little knock. If it sounds hollow, that is a juicy watermelon and you're good to go. So to cut our watermelon, safety first, you want to make sure that you have a cutting board that's not going to slip and slide. This one's kind of warped a little bit, so I like to just put a damp towel underneath to kind of stick it to the countertop so it doesn't slide around. You also want a very sharp knife. Dull knives mean kitchen failure. You're going to the ER. Make sure your knife is super sharp. And then you're going to look for the stem end and the bottom. And I like to cut straight down the middle of my watermelon to start. And we're going to cut our watermelon into wedges first. So you're just going to stick your knife in to the center and do your best to cut your watermelon in half. So once you have a nice cut mark, you're just going to push down and cut about halfway through, and then work your knife around. You can give it a roll. Watermelons are notoriously wobbly, so make sure that you're holding on tight so that it doesn't roll around. Super easy, much easier than a spaghetti squash. So once you have your watermelon cut in half, we're going to cut that half in half again. And watch your thumbs. Watch my thumbs. And you're all the way through. So now you have 2 quarters. You're going to put it down on the side, and we're just going to cut off the ends. There's nothing left there. You can pickle your watermelon rind, but that's for another day. And just discard those. Nobody wants those pieces. And then we're just going to cut it into our wedges just like that. This is the most traditional way to cut your watermelon. You can make them smaller if you like. Maybe cut those in half again. We like to put them onto a popsicle stick so you're not holding on to the rind. No sticky fingers for the kids. Easy to grab off a platter. And there are our wedges. All right, so there are the wedges. We'll just finish this side as well. Next, we're going to cut into sticks, which is always famous on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever. You always see these on social media. And the reason I like the sticks as opposed to the wedges is they pack really well. So if you're going to a picnic or you need fruit for a sporting event for kids, this is definitely the way to do it. So we're going to cut off the 4 corners of your round watermelon, just because there's not really anything on the edges. So now you kind of have a square watermelon, and you're just going to cut like a grid. And then turn the whole thing this way. And then I like to cut down the middle so that you have more even pieces. And then one time down each side of the middle cut. And you'll see here, now you have a nice watermelon stick. And they pack really well in a flat container. So if you have some pieces like on this corner here, it's kind of like a wonky shape, you can definitely trim that down. Nobody wants the white part. So for the next watermelon, we're going to cut this one into cubes, which are perfect for salads or like fruit skewers, and also melon balls, which are great in like a watermelon basket. If you remember from like 70s and 80s, watermelon fruit baskets were like all the rage, and they always had like watermelon balls. My kids actually prefer the balls to the cubes. I don't know why, but it's fine with me. So for the cubes, we're going to put this down onto the cutting board and we're going to cut off the rind. So you want to get pretty close inside. You want to make sure that you can see the pink. So if you take one swipe and it's white, you need to get closer to the inside of the watermelon. And now we can just cut it into a grid so we can cut this into cubes. So then we'll take each layer that we had cut here, there's 4, and we're just gonna cut that into our cube shapes, or as close to cubes as you can get. There you go, and you can make them as big or as small as you like. So we'll just finish this up and then we'll do our balls. This one we don't really have to cut it all. So you already have your watermelon half. This is great for kids, and I think this is maybe why my kids liked it so much, because if we bought a half a watermelon at the store, they could just grab like a melon baller, or if you want bigger balls, you can use an ice cream scoop or a cookie scoop. So for the cookie scoop, your watermelon balls are gonna be pretty big, and then you have the quick release, so you can definitely just pop them into a bowl. If you're using a watermelon baller or a melon baller, I actually prefer this one because they're like perfect bite-sized pieces. And you don't even have to worry about wielding a knife, especially if you already bought a half a watermelon that's already cut at the store. It's actually quite genius. So if you want to serve your watermelon balls in this bowl, when you're done taking all the balls out, you can cut a flat part off of the bottom of the melon carcass, melon shell. I don't know what to call it. If you have the right word, please let me know. So just cut the bottom off so that you have a flat surface, and you can actually use this for like a fruit salad. So with the melon balls, you're gonna have a lot of residual juice in the bottom of your watermelon. So make sure you don't throw that away. Watermelon juice or watermelon water is so trendy right now. You can either put it in a pitcher and add like some extra water, or add it to a cocktail, like a watermelon martini would be fabulous, or just add it to your fruit salad. So if that's all you're gonna do, you wanna take the rest of that juice and pour it into the bowl over top of your watermelon. It makes them extra juicy. When you do scoop it out, it kind of loses some of that juice and falls to the bottom. You want to kind of replenish it in your bowl. So that's it. So now you can use your cubes for a salad, or you can serve them at a party. It's the most foolproof way and best way to serve up your watermelon, in my opinion. If you like this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.